justice for all.
Roll call.
Yes.
Lynn Miller,
Here.
Marie Early,
Yes.
Dave Morandi,
Here.
Francis Murphy,
Here.
Steve Bellotto.
Here. Okay, welcome everyone. Start off the meeting, our agenda is the public hearing on the tentative budget, and then we'll get into the regular monthly meeting. So, do you want to go through anything or just open it to the public and, or how would you like to?
Open to the public.
Just open to the public. Okay, so any questions, concerns, whatever, be glad to hear them and hopefully answer any questions.
Michelle, why don't you, if I may, why don't you read the introduction to the three different funds so that people know that we're looking at three different budgets?
Okay, I'll summarize it real quick. As in the past, the Village of Cold Springs budget is broken into the general fund, which is the majority of village services, police, garbage, recycling, sidewalk and street maintenance. Revenue and expenditures are all identified by the letter A. Water fund is a self-sustaining fund. All the revenue brought in is used for expenses in the water fund. That's letter F in the packet. And the sewer fund is the same thing. It's self-sustaining. Anything brought in for sewer fees and usage is used for sewer maintenance. And that's the letter G throughout the packet. Some quick highlights. Property tax cap. It's an increase of 1.48% this year. That includes the rate of inflation plus an increase in the tax growth base, or if any properties were added or newly valued, any changes. So we are within the cap. It will be filed with the state, so we are in compliance. General fund balance, fund budget. Overall, the budget went down as you compare it to last year because of the Main Street project. The Main Street project is substantially complete. Fireman service award continued to go up a little bit. So the general fund tax overall is an increase of 0.25%, but the fireman service tax is an increase of 7.86%. Water fund budget, new account for the flat rate for endpoint technology. That revenue will equal the expense. There's no additional revenue to the village, it's just paying the vendor for the fees. And the sewer fund, the band principal went up because we need to start paying down towards the wastewater improvements for the new plant. And those are just some of the highlights that we didn't previously speak about.
And the endpoint technology fee begins on the water tax bills this month? Are they on the bills that will go out on April 15th? Do you know, Jeff?
I believe it's going to be the ones after that. But
Okay, June, okay.
There's various schedules that just break out revenues and expenses in different categories. Nice little charts that summarize last year versus this year. Don't want to bore everybody with the numbers. There's the debt service schedules for both the general fund and then the water and sewer in the back, and their salary schedules for all three funds as well.
Showing the debt schedule, the two on the bottom, the two vehicles, that's a once-a-year payment?
For
the highway
the
truck and
highway,
the
yes.
police car.
One per fiscal year. And right now, the general fund, the estimated fund balance at the end of the year is $453,000, and that assumes that there's no additional savings from now through the end of the year, which there probably will be some. But with the Main Street project, having a good grasp on what we need to pay for that, I feel 453 is a good number. So we'll speak about that at the end. New public arrived. Do they have any questions so far? No.
There's copies of the budget on the table, Stephen.
And then the bulk of this packet is the financial statements for the budget. It shows actual for 15-16, 16-17 budget versus where we stand through February, and the tentative budget for 17-18. The budget is balanced for all three funds.
And I know that the fire company is here.
Mhm.
We allocated how much money in the 17-18 budget going toward the payments for the roof? Do you remember off the top of your head?
So, right now, that's what I'd like to speak about.
Oh, we rehearsed this.
How much, if we want to allocate, Steve, I believe you've received some quotes. How much we want to allocate for the roof in full, or just repairs, or what we want to do, and if it's going to be fund balance or banning. Depending on the numbers, fund balance might be the way to go. Steve?
Well, we have 3 different prevailing wage contractors, and the prices vary from 40,000 to 110 or something like that.
But those are not formal bids.
They're not. I told them not to do it at that point yet, just for the terms of budgeting or for the reasons of budgeting. So, the $110,000 one was it like the best everything, all new flashing, all new, best quality surface you can buy. Any problems with the under roof fixed and all that stuff. So I told him to give us, a high number, and he did. The other guys, I told them the same thing, but they came in lower. So once we determine what needs to really happen in terms of what needs to be removed from the roof and how much stuff is actually there, then everybody can bid on the same thing. But I think if we would have to keep $100,000 just in case, because you wouldn't want to run short. But I can't imagine it costing more than 60 to 70.
Yeah, without the specs, it's we don't know. One person did a little,
We
dug
can't-
into the roof a bit to see how many layers there were to remove where the others hadn't. So, although they say they're going to tear the whole roof off down to the plywood, they might not be aware of how many layers are on there or whatever. So that's going to definitely add to demoing and carting away and the weight.
And new plywood is in that?
No, there's no new plywood. If there's a
Well,
plywood, there's
as
a plywood
needed.
cost as needed. If there's no damage, it's not replaced. They can't tell that from anywhere. But it includes
But
everything.
I thought we had a discussion about putting in repair
We
of,
put $10,000
Okay.
into a municipal village account. So
Okay.
any municipal building, it could be used for
Okay.
the 10,000.
and that is in the budget?
Yes.
Okay.
That is it.
But that's not
Firehouse.
for the roof.
That's for whatever, it was for this
Whatever
building or
we
that
need.
building or whatever building we need.
It was my understanding that 10 was going to be used for repairs inside, or whether it's not 10,000 for the roof.
Some of it is for,
As far as I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I thought we were going to budget that separately. So,
There
well,
is
if we're
4,000.
if we're gonna budget it separately, it's gotta be in the budget, and it's not in
So
this.
right now,
Right now,
for
it's,
the fire building repairs, there's 4,000. There's 10,000 that we put in a municipal account for any building, which might be used for the fire department, may not be. And then we didn't put any big number in for the
or
roof.
this roof here also, we thought that might need to be done, so that's why we put that number in.
But the 4,000 is what we normally have every
It was
annually.
That's like the
3,000, we upped it by
internal, yeah.
one.
Okay, so that is more internal, I thought that was more
Yeah.
internal repairs or external repairs to the building, but not the roof, it's the
Yeah.
annual allocation of funds. So it seems to me we have to add something to the budget to allocate toward the roof.
That's what we
Well,
need to
through
do.
conversations, and we never came up with a full decision, but one of the ways we can do that is we have a surplus, I feel, in the fund balance, and that we should take it from the fund balance, the total amount. Because we have, what do we have right now?
About 450.
Right, so that's, we need to determine now whether we're gonna take it from there or whether we're gonna ban it. That's, I mean, we're talking What are we talking, 60, 70,000? Now, did that
I
include,
assume
you
so.
said to me something about solar panels, did that include solar
No,
panels?
no, that was a whole other
That's all right.
thing that I looked into, because we discussed it, which, if you were to put solar panels on there, you would need a brand new roof.
Well, yeah.
Solar
Well, I
panels.
think we have to consider solar panels. Putting on a new roof that doesn't support solar panels, to me, is not a prudent way to go in today's environment.
Well, it's essentially $72,000 to cover that roof with solar panels. It would make more electricity than it uses.
But if you remember with CCA, we can sell it back.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, that's not a negative. Making more than we use is a positive. The value of it is, it makes, with that, it was like 89 or 90 solar panels, it makes $5,800 to $6,200 of electricity a month,
That'd be great.
which is way more than the firehouse uses. Not way more, but more.
It would be, I would assume,
And
with the village, can we use it for the other village buildings?
yes,
Yeah.
Well-
basically you set up, we have an account and,
You just, you
Picture
sell
it
it
like,
back to them. You sell it back to them.
well,
And
it goes
you-
back to the
You
grid.
can't allocate where it then goes to. It just.
Well,
gets
they
sold.
have, for municipalities, they have setups where you service all your accounts first.
Okay,
So we say we use, an extra $1,000. We made an extra $1,000 worth of electricity. It comes off the bill for all the village
So the water plant.
properties that they
wastewater-
electrify.
Wastewater highway.
we use more
wastewater.
than $1,000
Oh, yeah, we
a
do.
month.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it doesn't,
Can we consider, or should we consider roof this year and solar panels next year?
yeah, well, yeah, you got a roof first, because these panels last at least 20, they're guaranteed for over 25 years. They last often more than 30, they think, because it's kind of a newer
Well,
thing.
I think we also have to go for a grant for the panels.
Well, it's 71 grand, nice, and that's with a NYSERDA.
And
Percentage.
NYSERDA, in my reading of the NYSERDA grants, they don't do grants.
No, for solar, it's already set up.
Sorry, they,
It's- Right now, if it would be, if you just laid out, say someone gave us $80,000, it would be, to buy the 90 panels would cost $80,200 and something dollars. Automatically, NYSERDA gives you $12,000. They give you 40 cents per kilowatt hour that you generate right off the top. So this is not something you get paid for later. This comes out when you buy the panels. So the $82,000 worth of panels you actually get for 70. So that's the NYSERDA part of it. But that's for anybody who buys their own solar panels in New York State right now. So we would put 70,000 into it, and it would generate minimum $5,800 worth of electricity every month, broken out over the year. After 11 years, you will have paid back the actual cost of those panels, and the remaining, however many years those panels last, you're going to make $5,800 worth of electricity every month. So you make 3 times the value of what you paid for these panels over their lifetime. But you've got to pay $70,000 to get it, so that's the short thing. But it would
and
add
I think
another
we
check
should
on.
apply for a grant to do that.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you need to put it on a brand new roof because,
Well, yeah, so,
Yes,
so as
yes.
we
We
talk
agree.
roof, we have to make sure that whoever does the roof understands what he's on top of.
yes.
So they have to have that
So-
kind of a roof.
I know one of the concerns is that if we take it out of fund balance would go low. Right now, if we took $75,000 to budget for the roof, our fund balance as a percentage of the tentative budget will bring it to 18%. So it's still a healthy number. It's not over 20 like it's been in the past, but it's still well over 15.
Okay, so as long as we stay over 15, I think that's a good number, right?
That's what they said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they recommended.
It depends on who you talk to or who the guidelines are, anything from 15 to 25%.
So for 18. So at this point, do we want to move from the fund balance, which is 75,000?
That's what I understood it last time, which was a whole election ago. But I thought that's what the plan was,
Yeah.
to see if we could afford it out of the fund balance, which is why I got just estimates, so we can't ask them to give proposals, solid ones for this part. And then going forward, we'll determine what needs to happen to the roof, and then that's what will be the specs. And then everybody will do their bid at that point based on, because you got 3 different guys just looking at 3 different amounts of work, so.
So, I'm for taking out of the fund balance.
I disagree. I think we should budget some.
Lynn?
I think we should go ahead and pay for it out of fund balance. Go ahead and get it done.
Mary, when you say you think we should budget from where? You're not talking about banning it, right?
Pardon me? No, I think we should allocate some money in the budget to cover a portion of the roof.
We can't do a portion.
And then
of the
what do we
roof.
do?
We
I
have to do
understand,
it.
I understand we can't do a portion. I'm saying put some in the budget and take the rest out of the fund balance. I'm uncomfortable with taking that much money, an unknown amount of money, out of the fund balance.
Do you wanna use the 10,000 towards it?
Apparently, the 10,000 is.
We
Who
have-
has to fix this roof?
We have 5,000 in village hall repairs, 4,000 in interior or firehouse repairs right now, and then 10,000 for whatever.
We currently have a balance in village hall repairs for this fiscal year.
Right, and we're gonna work to get some of that done this year.
Yeah, we have, I got a list from Mary and Jeff today.
I'm unaware of what needs to be done.
The door here, a door in Mayor's office, a leak on the roof that causes running water in the mayor's desk. I'll send you the list.
But that was gonna come out of this year's.
That's coming out of this year's as much as we can, so some of those repairs for this building will get done. And then we've got 10,000 for whatever municipal buildings, which could be towards the.
Okay, so if we agree to go, take it out of the fund balance, we send out the RFPs, we get, the bids back, they're $80,000 or they're $70,000. Do we have to take that from the fund balance, or can we
And we
take,
can find savings somewhere else.
or can we take that 10 at that point?
Yep.
We could do that.
So we put in, just say right now, 75. If it comes back at 80, we can find 5,000 savings from somewhere else. If it comes back at 60, then that money goes right back into the fund balance. It wouldn't be used for something else.
Do we have to do a budget adjustment now to take it out of the fund balance, or we just wait until the bills come?
No, you wanna put a firm number in the budget right now,
So we have to make our best call and take
a
it out.
decision.
And then whenever the project's done, we either put the balance back at the end of the year.
Mhm.
Or
What if it's more than the fund balance? I mean,
There's more
What
than
if-
the fund balance, we don't do it.
what if it's more than we
don't do
allocated
it.
from the fund balance? Where does the extra money come from to pay this guy so that he finished the job? Like,
If it's a small amount, we'll try to find savings somewhere else. If it's a significant amount for an unforeseen event that happened on that roof, that they didn't know, that
Right.
worst case, they rip all the plywood needs to be redone, then we could do a budget adjustment and we would have to take it then from more out of the fund balance.
but it would just come out of the fund balance. So we wouldn't be stuck with a half-finished roof or something because we can't allocate the funds.
And the 18% was based on what number?
If we took 75,000 out of the fund balance.
What do you think on 75? I think that's where.
I think so, yeah, I think.
Is that too high, or you think that's a very?
No, I
good
think that's
reason?
a safe number, just in case.
Then we could use the 10 if we needed to bring it to 85. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion to take 75,000 out of the fund balance for the repairs of the roof.
Second.
We'll have a roll call on this, Steve.
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Trustee Early?
No.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
I vote yes. Passes 4-1. Is there anything else that we had to make a decision on?
Sorry, when is the spec going to be available?
We can start on that right away. Can you?
For the roof?
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah,
Or do
yeah.
we need to get some?
Well, I'll
I'll
look.
go up and measure.
Yes, we'll take care of it.
Okay, you understand we have to publish the spec? have the
Totally
opening?
understand, I
Okay.
know the process
Okay.
very well. so.
I think Dave Maroney already put a hole up there to see what was there, so I will just go in his same hole to see, specifically what we assume needs to be done. And in terms of the sheathing, you don't know what you're gonna get. You only know that when you pull all the whole roof off.
What we could also do is have a pre-bid and have them come down and have to tear the roof off to the surface like they said, but it would be up to them to go look at it also, or just have what our findings are before they bid, and so have a pre-bid meeting, have them go and look and, actually.
Verify for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, I agree.
Was there anything else, Michelle?
I believe that
Looking
was-
frantically.
Well, I'm going through my notes to see, but I think that was a big item that we had outstanding that I wanted to talk about.
So we're left then with 10,000 in the budget for municipal building repairs. The building repairs to this building are covered in the 2016-17 budget, correct?
As much as can be.
As you're aware of, okay. In addition to the 10,000, there's the 4,000 for the fire department.
Mhm.
We had mentioned an additional 5,000.
And 5,000 for this building.
Okay. So it's a total
Which
of
is-
19,000 for 2017-18 for municipal building repairs.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the plan is I will make this adjustment to the tentative budget. I will review it one more time, and then if everybody else is okay, it will be adopted in 2 weeks at the workshop. I don't anticipate any changes. It has to be adopted before May 1st, but I think adopting it tonight would have been too soon. So we'll let it sit with no changes unless an emergency or something happens. But that's the plan. This will be the budget. So whatever numbers you see here on the general fund, we just add 75 to revenue, 75 to expense, and that'll be the 17-18 budget. Okay?
And you're confident of the fund balance that we're working off of? That was
Yes,
40?
I think it will end up being a little higher, but that's a conservative number.
Okay. I thought it was higher. Okay.
Well, at the end of last year, it was over 500,
Right.
but we had to pay for a lot of the Main Street
Main
project
Street
this year.
project, right. Okay. That's what I thought.
One last time, any questions from the public on the budget?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, we have,
Thank you.
thank you, Michelle. And while Michelle's here, we have the financial highlights for this year. So we can get Michelle out of here. So if you want to go through those, Michelle, and then if there's any questions, and then
Okay, so financial highlights through February 28th, a little delayed because of the budget process. March's will be available and ready for the workshop in 2 weeks. Right now, the biggest thing that I've been working on, which Frank and Marie know, is trying to close out the Main Street project so that we have a firm number for the end of this year and for next year. So far, the only thing that should be flowing over into next year potentially is the trees. Everything else has been completed, and we're working to make those last payments and the paperwork with Doreen.
Did Heidi agree to sign off?
For the,
Yeah.
She still hasn't agreed?
so
Still-
Mike said today, Mike and Christina together, that they've been trying to get contact to sign off on the trees, and they haven't yet.
Sign off on the trees?
For the
For the changes.
extending the work agreement.
Oh, okay. What I meant was, did Heidi sign off on the 2016 quantities? And that
Not
was the
yet.
$30,000 thing?
I don't believe yet. She's still hung up on the tree situation. She claims she can't find them. The hotspot
She can
doesn't
find them, but
have
they're not the right
Right,
dimensions.
yeah.
The uncollected property tax, Putnam County has given us a check for the amount in full, so we have collected all the revenue.
Michelle, last question. What percentage of the taxes that we roughly, that are due us, do we have to send to Putnam County every year? Is it very small?
Percentage wise, I don't know, but it's usually in the 40,000 range.
Like $1,000,005 or so.
Yeah.
And that's a combination of property and water and
It's
sewer.
water and sewer,
Mhm.
right, okay. But it's relatively very small. It's a couple of,
It's usually less than about 20 people, 20 properties.
Delinquent property? Is that what you said,
20.
20 delinquent property?
Yes.
How many delinquent water and sewer?
That
I suspect
Anne
that's,
has been working on the list this week. I don't know if it's finalized yet.
but isn't that generally more people that are
I
delinquent?
think we looked at it a couple of weeks ago, it was roughly, I'm trying to think of it, it was like one sheet.
Okay, so it was within the range.
Escrow accounts, Mary and I went through all of them. We're going to be sending back escrow payments that we've been holding for projects that we know are 100% complete, no further action. I sent a letter to the Hudson House. I spoke to Regina and Sam. Regina promised me that she mailed me a check the other day for 2 months of rent. She agrees we have to pay they have to pay December. Sam didn't, Regina did. So Regina paid it.
You know, one like that.
We'll talk to Regina from now on.
I got her number and her address to send her the letters directly.
Nice.
Up in Fishkill. So revenue, permits, it's just C Street, that's a really high, that's the only outlier really in revenue. Expenses, for Verizon Wireless, we were being charged taxes for the cell phones for the police. Highway and water and sewer were charged it, and they had given us a credit when I first started. On the bills, it's lumped into taxes and surcharges. So then I looked into the police further, and we did have the tax exemption on it a few years ago. It's something we triggered and changed, and now for the past 2 years, we paid the tax. However, they refunded it in full. It will be on the next bill.
That's great.
So that was about $250.
Did we ever resolve what we were gonna do with the copy machine? Talking to them about upgrading to color, or is that this copy machine?
I gave them a call, and they said they were going to call back. I will follow up.
Well, we're gonna ask them, we're
Just
gonna
to
run
see.
by them to see if you could put in a special code and we can control it.
You'll see gasoline looks low because I haven't done the third quarter, which is some of January and February. I'm working on the numbers and verifying some of the readings. Chris brought me some paperwork today. And that's it. When you see it, retirement, I will have to do a budget adjustment in the workshop in 2 weeks. I will have a budget recommendation for a resolution to move some money around.
For
Cover-
this,
for the
this
state
fiscal year.
retirement, for this fiscal year, need to move some electricity accounts around. We did finally, Meridian agreed to end their contract. So that will save us some money. Meridian saved us money in the beginning, and then when the contract renewed, it wasn't renewed at the lowest rates. So we have since canceled the contract with Meridian, and Central Hudson is the supplier once again for right now. And that's all I really have. Mary, do you have any questions?
No. Thank you.
Anybody?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle, thanks.